Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. This week's project is my attempt at a walnut torus. I hope you enjoy it. A couple months ago, Gord Rock, one of the popular woodturners on YouTube, issued a challenge to make a torus or donut, whatever you want to call it. I missed out on participating in that challenge as I was doing other things. So, this has no affiliation to that. I just thought, hey, if they can do it, so can I. Oh man. I guess my disclaimer for this one is the awesome people of YouTube make this look a whole lot easier than it actually is. In this scene, I'm just finding the center of this so I can start rounding it out. This torus starts off going so well. I even made myself a nifty little template, as you can see here. In this scene, I'm just forming the tenon so I can mount it to the chuck. Now I have it mounted in the chuck, and things are still going okay for the time being. And it's about here that I realize that I didn't account for the screw holes from the faceplate. So that's neat. So, it's like they always say, it's a design change opportunity. So here I'm trying to take off as little as I can while still trying to maintain the shape of the torus. But alas, it was not meant to be. I think the next time I do one of these, I'm gonna forego the faceplate and try a different mounting option, because this obviously did not work. Oh my gosh, these stupid screw holes will not go away. And the poor little guy just keeps getting smaller and smaller. So at this point, it's not looking too terrible. I'm still maintaining that lovely torus shape. So I took it over to the drill press to make a hole in it so I could tell where to stop on the other side. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have finished this, since this is the first time I've ever done one of these, and had no idea what I was doing, basically. But here we are, I'm finishing it, making it so pretty, only to have it demolished a little bit later. You'll see why. Alright, let the games begin. I now have it reverse mounted up against a friction check type thing. Here I'm just rounding it out to try and mimic the shape from the other side as best I can, using that drilled hole as my guide. Things are still going pretty well at this point. Just doing a bit of sanding so I can do that while it's still on the lathe. I'm feeling pretty good about it at this point in the process, as I even did the little finishing steps, making it still ever so pretty. So here I'm just using a parting tool to try and break this loose from the thing. And I guess I highly underestimated where I was in the process, as this thing took forever to break loose. And then I realized that this is where I went wrong. A little bit more sanding and some finish while it's still on the lathe. Still looking fairly decent. And then this happens. So that wasn't even the bad part. When I turned this around on the chuck and drilled that hole, somehow I was way off on my measurement. And so one side was a lot skinnier than the other. So at this point, I'm just trying to round that out best I can. I made this donut chuck similar to a design that Gord Rock made in one of his videos. I'll post that below. And now, since there's no real easy way to sand the entire thing again, I get to do a whole bunch of hand sanding. And then some more Mylan sanding sealer. I gotta tell you, the abrasive paste is a lot more fun when it's actually on the lathe. It's just a fun-filled event of trying to scrape this all off with a paper towel when it's not spinning. Now for the final appearance of the polishing paste. Ta-da! Turned out pretty okay, all things considered. It's not really in the realm of what I wanted it to be, but I'm still pretty pleased with it. I had a pretty cool idea for the base, so that's what I'm making here, just sanding off the edges to make it flat. Quick backstory here. I'm using one of the million chisels that I found after my dad had passed, and I quickly realized that I don't think I've ever used a sharp chisel ever. I don't know if I always just got to them after he had used them and they were just never sharp or what, but I researched several YouTube videos on how to sharpen a chisel and got it pretty well figured out. So in this scene, I'm just chiseling out a hole for the Taurus to rest on. I purchased these rubber contour sanding pads from Woodcraft a while back and have never used them. So this was the perfect opportunity to use this one. Minor design change. Yet another minor design change. And then off camera, I sanded the rest of the grits, put some sanding sealer on it, and now I'm just putting some walnut oil over the entire thing for the finish. And there you have it. One finished attempt at a Taurus, or donut, whatever floats your boat. Even though it didn't turn out as I originally planned, I still think it turned out pretty cool. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to my subscribers. We're up over 190 so far. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Please hit that like button and comment below. Stay awesome, everyone. Love to all.